next real pillar of an MDM strategy and program is process, which is, okay, nothing happens in a vacuum. If we're going to implement a data management program, there's going to be some effect on the organization. If you're doing analytical MDM where we're just trying to consolidate information to improve analytics, it might be a fairly minor change in process, very lightweight as far as how it changes the way people do their jobs. But as you move towards more of a coexistence or centralized MDM implementation where it actually changes the process for creation of data as well as maintenance of data, the business and the governance function's job is to define, okay, well, what is our current state process? And sometimes those are undocumented. It's sort of evolved organically over time, and it's, well, I emailed the spreadsheet to that guy because we agreed to do that a couple years ago, and then he takes the information and puts it into a system, et cetera. So you've got to understand your current state process, then obviously you've got to document and agree to what process should we have in order to better solve the problem we're trying to solve for.
Yeah, and a lot of times I think that companies don't spend enough time recognizing what's good about their current process, right? And if it is good, right? Because in some cases, you're right, if it's spreadsheets that are getting mailed around, let's just change that process completely. But a lot of times, if I'm dealing with customer data and you're using some CRM system, whether it's Salesforce or Dynamic CRM or Sugar or whatever, those systems are great, and that I wouldn't want to change those processes. Those systems being the system of entry where the salespeople do the initial information on a prospect, a lead, or something like that, we should not be changing that process. Or I am always loath to change those processes to start. But I want to understand what that data is there, and then make sure that there's a process to make that data better once it moves into the MDM world, right? So that whatever is getting put there, we can have some checks and balances in place, and somebody that's the aggregator or subject matter expert, they can say, these people are doing a good job, these people are doing a poor job, and elevate the information across the organization.
Right, and it varies, right? So in a B2C organization, you're going to have virtually no process for creating customers. Someone walks up to the register they want to pay, you're never going to stop them, right? You'll deal with, you try to get the best information you can at the point of sale and move on. Use loyalty rewards maybe to get better data so that you can better identify those people. In the B2B world, that's usually where in the customer domain, at least, things are more process driven. And again, the process is going to vary dramatically by industry, by domain, by the business challenge you're trying to solve. Some organizations are going to have minimal changes to their process depending on what they're trying to do. Other organizations are going to have dramatic. So for example, if someone's doing a GDPR compliance project, that has massive process implications where most of it's probably going to be totally new to the organization. We're not trying to change per se, we're trying to create something that doesn't exist. Other times it could be, well, we're going to deploy a new ERP platform, migrate across, implement MDM alongside, and everything's wide open right now. We're ripping the Band-Aid off anyways. Let's completely throw all of our processes upside down. In other cases, you might say, hey, let's try to be minimally invasive and try to get some value, and then maybe incrementally change process over time where we have an appetite and where there's a justified reason to do so.